Hey there, internet friends, Trevor Starkey here with another episode of Wrestling Wednesday. This week, I'm going to go over my predictions for the upcoming WWE Battleground pay-per-view this Sunday. This is all going off of the matches that are currently on the WWE card on their website, so if these change, oh well. But here's what we're going to go with. So, up first, Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. I imagine this will be the kickoff show, based on his reappearance on TV during the 4th of July Battle Royale and his good performance in that. I think they'll give Ty Dillinger the win here and maybe set him up for a push in the United States title scene as part of maybe AJ Styles' kind of like open challenge thing. Then we have Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis. And given that Mike just had his first televised match on Thursday and won via some heel tactics with his wife Maria interfering, I imagine we'll basically get a repeat of that to kind of cement in stone that that's kind of their thing, and the whole power of love shtick. Up next, I have Breezango versus the mystery opponents. Now, I don't know where WWE is going with this angle. With Jason Jordan moving over to Raw as Kurt Angle's illegitimate son, the idea of an American Alpha heel turn here doesn't hold as much weight, so maybe it's against the Colognes. But the rumor is that they're trying to get out of WWE, so I can't imagine they would want to give them a push with that regard. So my prediction ultimately is actually that Chad Gable is doing it and takes a solo heel turn, and so it becomes a 2-on-1 handicap match, but he beats Breezango. So I think it gives him a push, shows him as strong, gives him the heel turn, gives him momentum kind of coming out of this whole shake-up, and gives him something to do. So my prediction, regardless, is that the mystery opponents are going to win. I don't think Breezango needs the win. I think they're so over with the whole Fashion Files gimmick that whoever comes in here, be it Chad Gable or maybe some NXT team that's getting kind of the push up, I think they'll get the momentum from a win here. The only exception to that rule is if it turns out that it was really the Ascension and they were just joking when they said it wasn't them. I think the Ascension loses, because I'm not going to fall for that one again. They burned me when they had that like sudden impromptu match a couple pay-per-views ago. So I'm going to say mystery opponents unless it's the Ascension. Up next, I have the 5-way elimination match for the Women's Championship #1 contender. I think we'll see a little bit of the face versus heel alliances here to kind of start the match off. Logic and past performance would dictate that Lana gets an early elimination, but I think that's like a red herring, and I think her alliance with Tamina will actually kind of keep her in the running for a little bit longer in this match. So I'm going to go ahead and say ultimately that Becky Lynch takes it, and my kind of sequence of events would be Natalya gets eliminated first, then we lose Charlotte, so it becomes a 2-on-1 against Becky Lynch. Tamina gets eliminated, then Lana and Charlotte and Becky Lynch ultimately wins. And not via a heel turn. I know people are always saying, like, oh, it'd be really cool if Becky Lynch turned heel, but then you'd have basically Charlotte and Naomi as the only faces on the brand, so I feel like they wouldn't want it that lopsided. Up next, we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin, and if the Punjabi prison match weren't the final thing, or presumably the final match, if it weren't the Punjabi prison match, I could see Corbin losing here, but then cashing in and winning the championship later on. But I feel like they're not gonna muddy that up after the Punjabi prison match with whoever wins that, and they're not gonna have Baron Corbin come out, cash in, and because the ring, you're not even going to be able to get to the ring, and so it feels like they wouldn't do like I guess it's a pinfalls count anywhere and you can just do it right outside the ring. Also because you'd have half the arena that can't see a goddamn thing because of the fucking bamboo in this stupid match. So with all of that said, I think instead we're going to get Corbin winning to remind the champion that he's a threat and he can use that kind of as his promos moving forward and going into SummerSlam. And then I think we'll end up seeing Nakamura kind of set his sights maybe on AJ Styles. They've kind of teased their feud a little bit here and there, so I think we'll see the two of them face off at SummerSlam. Which leads me into AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens for the United States title. I think it was weird to give Styles the championship at a Madison Square Garden house show, but I think it would be even weirder to give it right back to Owens here. So I think this will serve to cement Styles as the champion going into SummerSlam, and we'll either see Kevin Owens maybe make a run for the WWE Championship, or maybe he stays in the United States scene and we end up even getting like a triple threat of Styles versus Owens versus Nakamura at SummerSlam or something like that. So I think AJ Styles wins and retains the United States Championship. Up next, I have the Usos versus the New Day for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. I think the WWE is going to want the bigger name going into SummerSlam as the champion here. So I think the New Day takes the titles here. I think we see maybe the Usos try and do another count-out thing, but the New Day gets them back into the ring, beats them clean, 1, 2, 3. So you have the New Day as the big name champions going into SummerSlam, and the Usos maybe take their title rematch shot there. Up next, I have the John Cena versus Rusev flag match, and I can see this match going one of two ways. Either Rusev wins and gets all the heat that comes from a stupid xenophobic angle of foreigner beating America, or you have Cena almost showing like he's going to lose and get knocked out maybe by Rusev's submission hold, but he fights back by the power of America. And ultimately, I think I'm going to lean towards Rusev on this one. Rusev takes the win. Rusev needs it way more than Cena does. I think Cena can just use his free agent status and go fight somebody else at SummerSlam. Then finally, we have Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton in the Punjabi prison match for the WWE Championship. And my theory had been, well, Jinder hasn't won a single match on his own since becoming champion. It's always been helped by Singh interference. And so by isolating the Singhs away from him in this kind of match, he would lose it. But then you had him beat Dillinger clean with no Singh interference last week or a couple weeks ago, whenever. I was like, well, crap, then maybe Randy Orton finally takes the title here. But I think it'd also be a huge troll to the Indian people that they're trying to sell this, that you'd have yet another Punjabi prison match where the person of Indian descent didn't win. So I think ultimately we'll see kind of a finish where Orton starts to climb the outer cage ahead of Jinder. The Singhs climb on the outside to kind of block him and maybe push him back down. Maybe Orton fights them off. Maybe one or both of them takes a big fall off the side of the Punjabi prison. But while that's happening, as always is the case with him, that distraction leads Jinder to be able to kind of sneak out the other side or away from Orton or something like that. So I think ultimately Jinder wins and retains, but again with the assistance of the Singh brothers. So I ultimately am landing on Jinder winning and retaining the WWE Championship going into SummerSlam. So those are my predictions. I'll, of course, be looking forward to seeing what my friend Unsexiest Comedy, Cameron Abbott, has as his predictions. Maybe I'll actually beat him this time. Probably not. I'm 0-3 or 0-4 or something with him. I think we tied one. We tied at Money in the Bank. But every other prediction I have lost to him. So fingers crossed this will change the tides and he'll owe me Portillo's for once. Let me know what your predictions for Battleground are in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter. And until next time, from here at the Trove, treasure your friends.